Hi, Misha here, and how about another helicopter video? And how about the largest helicopter in the West, and nearly largest helicopter in the world? Meet the Sikorsky, CH-53E Sea Stallion, or, in the case of this exact model, MH-53E Sea Dragon. And this model is from De Agostini, so it's one of the more economy die-cast in 172. But it's kind of a neat little package for about 30 bucks. You get a basic stand with 2 peg holes. This is so large, I thought for the video I'd take it off just because I didn't want to knock it. But you do get rotating rotors, which is good. Rotors are want to rotate. The tail also rotates, although it's a little bit stiff on this one. I can find it here. Yeah. My thing keeps wanting to rotate on me. Not you. Yeah, but the tail rotor does rotate. The gear are fixed in the down position, but that's okay. And it's quite a large bird here. A good chunk of it's metal, but also a good chunk is plastic, again, just kind of due to the size. And this is primarily used by the U.S. Marine Corps, U.S. Navy, and Japanese Maritime Self-Defense Force. And this was really, pretty much purpose-built for the Navy. It dates back to 1964 when the Navy was having its heavy helicopter experimental program. They wanted to create a heavy lift chopper, and Sikorsky submitted their S-65 model. The YCH-53A would fly in 1964, and deliveries would begin in 1966. And there would be several versions of this predecessor. For example, the Air Force would operate the HH-53B, and there would be the quite famous Pavlo, the CH-53H. Several versions were used in Vietnam of this aircraft's predecessor, but that was a twin turboshaft engine lifter. In 1967, the Marines said, hey, we want something capable of operating from amphibious vehicles, but that can lift nearly twice as much as the CH-53 ABC, and that has good range endurance to operate over water. Well, Sikorsky had been working on a 3-engine version on this airframe, and so in 1968 they submitted their S-80 prototype, and the Marines liked the idea because it was more of an upgrade, a next generation, a super version than an all-new aircraft. So it would be easier to develop, to troubleshoot, to get into production, except there was a bunch of political mucking about, and for a time they were trying to force the Navy and the Marine Corps to accept the standard U.S. Air Force, U.S. Army helicopters. But finally in 1970, the Navy argued the case for itself and the Marine Corps that we need our own thing, we have our own purposes. So that led to the first prototype of the CH-53E flying in March of 1974. And finally in 1978, a full contract was given to Sikorsky to build these. And the first production model flew at the end of 1980, and these started to come into Marine and Navy service in 1981, or at least the CH-53E did. As for the MH-53E, the Sea Dragon versus the Sea Stallion, the first one of these flew at the end of 1981 and would enter into service in 1986. And this was a specialized mine detection, mine sweeping version, primarily used by the U.S. Navy, but it was also fully capable of being a heavy cargo lifter. And essentially, it had a specialized cockpit. It also had more fuel tanks, both internal and external, for improved range. So with that, what exactly is this? How is it the biggest one? Well, it's just a hair under 100 feet long, 99 feet and some change. Now, it only has one rotor, but it has 7 blades. The 7th blade was actually added with the CH-53E upgrade. The 53E was actually about 6 foot longer than the original version as well. And like I said, it had 3 engines instead of 2. The original aircraft could lift about 20,000 pounds, give or take. The improved version here could lift 30 to 32,000 internally, or underslung as much as 36,000 pounds. That's a lot. Most utility helicopters lift between 4 and 10,000 pounds. The only thing that even comes close is the Boeing Chinook, the CH-47, but even it is about 25,000 pounds max. So this, it can carry a lot. And standard load, it could carry 37 troops inside, but if you added a center row of seats, it could carry up to 55 troops equipped. And with even newer crash seats and restraints and all that, it's down to about 31, but they're fully protected. It has a crew of 5, pilot and co-pilot. And then it has a crew chief, and in combat situations, he would act as one of the side gunners. You would have a 4th member of the crew acting as the other side gunner. They would both be firing 50 calibers. And then in the back, in the ramp area, another gun could be mounted for a 5th crew member, again during combat situations. And these sponsons hold a lot of fuel, giving it very good range, and it can also have additional drop tanks installed if needed. And, as if that's not enough, this version also has chaff and flare dispensers for defense in the air. Now, it's reasonably fast for its size and carrying capability. It can reach 170 miles per hour, although it likes to cruise at more like 140 to 150. Not bad, all things considered. Also, its max altitude is about 18 to 19,000 feet, again, kind of depending on cargo. But where it really shines is its just range and endurance, and the fact that it can well and easily operate from amphibious vehicles. And not just the large Navy aircraft carriers, but the Marine Corps' smaller amphibious ships as well. So Sikorsky has produced 234 of these. 150 have gone to the Marine Corps, and 38 have gone to the U.S. Navy. Again, I'm kind of lumping the CH and the MH in together. The CH-53 was first deployed on board ships and in a combat zone in 1983. And it would continue to see service throughout the 80s. In 1991, these were used for rescue in Mogadishu. They were also used quite successfully in Desert Storm, including the MH-53 being used for its intended role as a minesweeper in the Persian Gulf. They would be used during the Bosnian conflict for search and rescue, including in 1995. And that's kind of what they were. Yeah, it's a heavy lift, it's a cargo helicopter, but it can also go into combat environments because of its relatively good speed, with escort of course, and pick up downed aircrew or what have you, special forces. In 2001, on October 26th, 6 of these were made quite famous. They actually helped establish the first land base in Afghanistan, and it was, at least to date, the longest amphibious operation of its type. 6 carried a lot of troops there and helped establish a base that would stay operational for years. So, they were amongst the first aircraft to be deployed in Afghanistan. And of course, they were used again in Iraq in 2003. A lot of times they were used to get ammunition and other supplies to Marines operating towards the front. They could do that. They were also used to help evac casualties. And their service continues on to this day, even though production ended. These were mostly built between 1978 and 1988. But they're still around. Now, they are getting a little long in the tooth. They require quite a bit of maintenance to keep going. It's, not exactly the newest technology, although they have upgraded the cockpit, the displays, and whatnot as best they can. But heck, when you've got 3 engines and you're trying to lift that much weight, what do you expect? It is a large, complicated, heavy-duty helicopter. And yeah, it's really the largest one in not just American service, but NATO service. If you want anything bigger, you've got to go to the Soviet Union or Russia for some of the Mil helicopters. For example, the Mi-26 is bigger. And the Chinook is close, and the Chinook is faster, but this is larger and does have more carrying capability. And because it is a naval aircraft, its endurance is actually quite impressive. It kind of trades speed for endurance. So yeah, cool model, very big, and yeah, very hard to get on a shelf because of this giant rotor. Reasonable quality for what these are. It does have some good weight to it. You can feel the die cast in it. It's mostly in the front. The tail's kind of plastic, which is good because it would probably tumble over otherwise. And I do like the stands that this series. Like I said, this is De Agostini, but it's essentially the same tooling as the old Altea, which are kind of a step up from a Mercum. They're no Corgi or Hobby Master, but they also don't cost that either. So, you kind of get what you pay for, and they do a lot of neat helicopters that no one else does. And it is hard to find helicopters in 1/72 scale diecast, trust me. So what do you think? Again, this one's U.S. Navy. A few other companies do this too, including a Japanese version, a Marine version. God, that's a big rotor. It is a big, big chopper. So yeah, another helicopter video for you fine folks. Let me know what you think. As always, if you could, please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. This is Misha, and I'll catch you very soon next time.